For years, tension simmered beneath Eastern Europe's surface. Ukraine stood at a crossroads, leaning toward Europe while Russia watched closely, seeing its influence slip away. Military drills near borders, political warnings, and broken agreements filled the air. The world hoped diplomacy would hold. It didn't. In the shadows, steel was already being sharpened. Before dawn, missiles cut through the Ukrainian sky. Airports, military bases, and cities were hit almost simultaneously. Tanks rolled across borders, sirens wailed as families fled underground. What Russia called a special operation, Ukraine felt as a full-scale invasion. In a single night, peace was shattered and blood stained the soil. Kiev, Kharkiv, Mariupol, names that became symbols of resistance. Outnumbered and outgunned, Ukrainian forces and civilians stood their ground. Streets turned into battlegrounds. Apartment blocks became fortresses. Each destroyed building told a story of survival, loss, and defiance. Steel met steel, but spirit met fear, and refused to bend. As images of destruction spread, the world responded. Sanctions hit Russia's economy. Weapons and aid poured into Ukraine. NATO strengthened its borders. This was no longer a regional war. It was a global shockwave. Markets trembled, energy prices soared, and alliances were tested. The battlefield expanded far beyond Ukraine's borders. The war slowed but grew deadlier. Drones hunted tanks. Artillery reshaped landscapes. Soldiers fought in trenches reminiscent of old wars, yet guided by satellites and screens. Technology and tradition collided. Every kilometer gained cost lives. Every retreat carried grief. Steel machines dominated the land, but human blood paid the price. Behind every front line was a broken home. Millions fled as refugees. Children learned the sound of bombs before school bells. Hospitals overflowed, and mass graves told silent truths. This was not just a war of armies. It was a war on daily life. Survival itself became an act of courage. Years passed, but victory remained distant. Lines shifted, leaders spoke, negotiations stalled. The world grew used to the headlines, but the suffering never paused. Ukraine continued to fight for sovereignty. Russia pushed on, unwilling to step back. Steel still roared. Blood still flowed. The Russia-Ukraine war will be remembered not only for tanks and missiles, but for choices of resistance, aggression, unity, and silence. It reshaped global politics and redefined modern warfare. When the guns finally fall quiet, history will ask, what was learned and at what cost?